Hi, beautiful people. Have you all seen this trending video? If you've not seen it, then listen to a clip of it.
Reinhard Bonnke came to hold a crusade and they said Christian crusade is not allowed. Not only did they destroy the equipment, they cut Christians. Is that genocide or not?
In the video you just listened to, the speaker was talking about genocide in Nigeria, but that's not what I want to talk about. I shared this clip because of the man speaking in the video. You can hear how eloquent he speaks, right? Some of you know him as Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, but do you know that a few years ago, this Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo used to hawk bread in Nigeria? If you didn't, then stay tuned, because in this video, I share 6 things that you never knew about him. While you're watching, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed to me, and leave comments in the comment section. He came from a poor, dysfunctional family. Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo was born on the 17th of March 1952 in the military hospital in Zaria. His given name was Ahmed, but he changed it to Matthew when he gave his life to Christ. He has 2 siblings, 1 older brother and 1 younger sister. His dad was in the army, so his family moved around a lot. He spent the first 15 years of his life living in the north. At the age of 7 or 8 years old, his family was living in Kaduna. He said his family was a dysfunctional family, and he had no memory of his family ever sitting around the table for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. In fact, to eat 3 square meals in a day was luxury. His dad was a compulsive gambler, so he always lost money. There were times when they couldn't afford the rent of the dilapidated house that they were living in, so they had to move to a remote village. He said that village was so remote that the only means of transportation out of that village was riding on a donkey. The houses there were mud houses with thatch roofs. He never wore new clothes. He always wore second-hand clothes. Instead of taking advantage of the scholarships available then, he would go to the streets and join other children to play. He was maltreated after the death of his father. In 1966, his father was transferred to Kano Barracks. And this was around the time that they were killing Easterners in the north. By Easterners, I'm referring to the Igbos. So Chief Obafemi Awolowo ordered all Yoruba soldiers to move down to Makola Barracks in the west. On the 12th of December 1966, they all moved down to the west. By May 1967, his father was deployed to go for the Biafran War. Because of the urgency of the deployment, the father took him to a lady that sells in the Mami market and told the lady to allow him to come eat lunch and dinner at her restaurant. And when he comes back from war, he was going to pay her. She agreed, but his father never came back. He died at the side of the Asaba Bridge. And at that time, Pastor Matthew was the only child or the only person staying with his father. So Pastor Matthew was all alone, and he didn't even know that his father had died. His father died sometime around June, July, but by the time he heard of his father's death was in September. But before then, the woman that his father assigned to be feeding him stopped feeding him. So he had to hustle for food on his own. Luckily for him, at that time, all the barracks in Nigeria were converted to training camps for new recruits. So they had a military kitchen where they cooked for them. He and other children that their parents went to war went to this military kitchen and ate to their fill. He would eat there and then go to school. One day, his aunt came to the house and told him that his father was dead. She packed off all the things in the house and carried him to her place. The army paid his auntie £5 monthly for their upkeep, but she didn't treat them well. She made him hawk bread in Ibadan, morning, afternoon, and night. But the good thing is that he still went to school. One day, he got fed up and ran to Ile-Ife. He was there, he met Jesus. His salvation story, from Ahmed to Matthew. As a young teenager, he went to visit a friend in a drunken state. And while he was at his friend's house, he saw lots of tracts. So he picked up one and began to read. The tract was a Christian tract. And after reading the tract, he gave his life to Christ. A few days after that, one of his aunts saw him hanging around some boys that she wasn't really comfortable with. So she invited him to church. By the time he went to the church, she told him that the church was looking for a caretaker. And he needed to go see the pastor if he was interested. He went to see the pastor. And the pastor asked him if he was a Christian. And he said yes, because he had already read that tract a few days ago and given his life to Christ. So that was how he got employed to be the caretaker of that church. At that time, they paid him 13 naira and then they gave him a place to stay. While he was working there, he got baptized and changed his name from Ahmed to Matthew. He began studying to pass his A-levels because he planned to go to the Nigerian Defense Academy. He had always dreamed of becoming an engineer with the army. Alongside his A-levels, he was also studying his Bible. But over time, he found out that he became more and more interested in studying the Bible. He would even preach passionately about the Word of God to his friends. His call to minister. One fateful day, an evangelist visited the church premises with his wife. The evangelist and his wife stayed in a room in the church parsonage. While the evangelist was preparing for his meeting, he saw Pastor Matthew and said, "You look like someone that God is calling into ministry." This only confirmed the strong desire that Pastor Matthew had been feeling lately in preaching the Word of God. The evangelist then gave him the address of the Bible college that he went to and encouraged Pastor Matthew to go there and get trained. The Bible college was owned by Foursquare Church and was located in Ikorodu, Lagos. So in 1974, Pastor Matthew enrolled for that Bible college. The Bible school lasted for 3 years, and during that period, his older brother, who was in the army at the time, sent him monthly stipends for upkeep. So the principal of his college took interest in him and encouraged him to join the Foursquare Church as a pastor after the Bible college. After he graduated, he took a 1-month fast, praying for God's direction before he accepted the offer. And then he resumed at Foursquare Church, Shomolu, on the 18th of December 1976 as an assistant pastor. He served as an assistant pastor for 4 years, and then he became a resident pastor. He also served as a resident pastor for 4 years. It was in Foursquare Church, Shomolu, that he met his wife, Yemisi. His wife was the daughter of the resident pastor, while he was the assistant pastor. They got married and they have 2 male children. They're all grown now. They even have grandchildren. After serving as a resident pastor for 4 years, he was sent as a reverse missionary to the UK. At that time, Foursquare Church just started what they call reverse mission. Reverse mission means sending missionaries from Africa to those countries that used to send missionaries to us. So Pastor Matthew resumed in London on the 11th of February 1984, and he pastored there for 8 years before he began to feel God leading him to start his own ministry. He even took a 74-day fast, praying and asking God if he actually wanted him to leave the church. And God told him that he should step out, that he was going to show him a bigger river. And to prove that God actually sent him, he succeeded. KICC is born. On the 6th of September 1992, he began KICC. KICC is Kingsway International Christian Center. During an interview, he was asked how the name came about, and he said that while he was still working as a pastor with Foursquare Church, there was a time that they went to Canada for a program. The Foursquare Church there was called Kingsway Foursquare Church. He liked the name, so when he wanted to start up the church, he decided to use Kingsway Church. But God told him that it was going to be an international ministry, so he changed it to Kingsway International Christian Center. And to prove that God actually sent him, within 1 year, they had over 1,200 members, and they had bought their first building in the UK. By the second year, they had over 2,500 members. They ran 4 services, and they had also bought another building. Now, KICC is one of the biggest churches in the UK. The church is in more than 9 countries. They have a 24-hour TV station that airs in over 217 nations. Pastor Matthew is known globally for his powerful and practical teachings on leadership, prosperity, and faith. He has authored over 107 books, and he's recognized as one of the most influential pastors in the world. How Matthew Ashimolowo plans his day. During an interview, Pastor Matthew was asked what he does daily, and this was his response. He says once he wakes up, he does morning devotion with his wife. Afterwards, he begins to write out his plan for the day. He ensures that when writing his daily plan, he involves some of his 10-year goals, some of his 5-year goals, and some of his yearly goals, as well as his daily routine. Then he goes to play golf. He said he lost lots of weight by playing golf, so it's an exercise that helps him to keep fit. Afterwards, he goes to his office. He said he reads 2 books every week and ensures that before the year runs out, he has read 100 books. In order to achieve his goal of reading 2 books every week, he had to go learn speed reading. He paid some money and was trained on how to read very fast. So he could read 150 pages in 2 hours. And then he begins to prepare the message that he will preach on Sunday by Monday. He said every day is different, but basically this is how he plans his day. So there you have it, my loves. I'll leave you with this quote from Pastor Matthew. Man's life is not summed by the current happenings in his life. In other words, I am trying to say that do not let the situation you're currently going through drown you. If Pastor Matthew could move from being a bread seller to a global phenomenon. You too can, and I'll be waiting to share your story. Thanks for spending time with me. My name is Charity Lawrence. Ensure you subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed to me. Like this video and share with your friends and families. Let's chat in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye.